When it comes to Dragonkeeper, it focuses on a young girl who is tasked with rescuing a baby dragon and discovering her true fate, not the assumed one of her being a servant. So to summarize the film, in a fantasy world where necromancy and dragons exist, a war against magical people and creatures has recently ended and the Emperor has fought against anybody with powers beyond his. But as he has aged, he has sought out magical items to extend his life, including extracts from what remains of the dragons he fought to extinguish. Enter Master Dao, who travels to the mountains where dragons like Danzi live, and Master Dao seeks out an egg Danzi's partner has recently produced to use its power. But thanks to a girl named Ping, who is what is known as a Dragonkeeper, she stands in the way of Master Dao's plan and the Emperor's desire to extend his life. So getting to the review portion. The first hype is that when it comes to Ping's journey, it definitely will feel like a WB11 or Nickelodeon show. Just because with her being the scrappy kid who was notably satisfied with her life as a servant, even though you don't go on an emotional journey as she discovers what she truly is, as you watch her and Desai go throughout the country in order to save this egg, you get what feels like it could easily have been like an episodic every week type of show that gets not necessarily rushed, but does keep a rather quick pace in order to reach the end of the journey. Which leads to the next highlight is that when it comes to the villain, you get it. Master Dao and also the Emperor have a fear of death. Master Dao's mother dies early in the movie, and you can tell that had a notable effect on him. And then when it comes to the Emperor, his son, the next in line, is rather young, and if you've read any history books or took note of what happened throughout history when you was in elementary, middle, high school, maybe college if you went, you know that if the next in line wasn't old enough, that means it was possibly a regent or somebody else that would lead in their stead, and that could mean civil war amongst other issues. So living long enough for your child to take over is definitely something you can imagine the Emperor wanted, and with that potentially not happening, he wants to keep his son alive, and the only way to do that is through the magic that I want to say the Emperor detested, but definitely had some level of fear over because he knew the valid threat that it was. So with that in mind, the villains aren't your usual, they're just bad guys for the sake of it. These are people who you can see from a different light. While they may not be good, morally upright people, their reasons for doing what they do make perfect sense. Getting to the on-the-fence topic, when it comes to the animation style, if you're somebody that wants AAA, Studio Ghibli, Pixar, top-level CGI or whatever type of graphics or visuals, this isn't for you. I would say when it comes to Dragonkeeper, the animation looks like late PS2 era, maybe PS3 era graphics, and thankfully it's not like that CGI we often see Netflix have on its shows, but it may not be for everybody. Which leaves one last topic, and that's this. When it comes to quite a few of the storylines, they don't get resolved. For example, Wang Chao, who is Master Dao's minion, you'll so badly wish you got his backstory, but unfortunately that's not dove into with this film. On top of that, when it comes to the Emperor's son, considering how the film ends, you're probably gonna want to know what happened to him. Add in wishing to learn more about the necromancers and their war against humanity, which the dragons joined. It can sometimes feel like what could have been this real massive epic, again feeling like a TV series, instead kind of got diminished to the point where a lot of the extra details were either sidestepped, minimized, or maybe originally planned to gone into, but then because of budget issues or timing, they got cut in the editing room. They did their best to kind of push it off to the side so they can focus on the main journey. But despite all that, overall, Dragonkeeper is undeniably entertaining and a fun film to watch. But again, it does feel like sometimes that there was a lot cut from its source material, and with that, you're left with a product that leaves you wanting more, and sometimes not in a good way.